Welcome to Tuesdays Live with the very lovely Hayley from 11 Loves. Me, 5'2", 6. Hayley, and I'm an 8 to 10, just so you have a perspective on sizing. So today we're going to do a little bit of a walkthrough of topics that will be helpful and interesting, from workwear to summer holidays. So we're going to start off with workwear. I am wearing Paulina. So Paulina is the most beautiful shirt dress known to mankind.
Cotton poplin, 100% cotton.
So natural fibres, excellent obviously for the heat. When I think about styles that are universal, the shirt dress has to be one of those. And the reason that it is one of those universal styles is because of the fit and flare nature of the style. When you think of dresses that are fit and flare, those are the ones that will work with your straight and also whether you're curvy. Because if you're curvy, so like an hourglass or pear, this will serve to highlight your waist, cinching you in, and it will also nicely skim over your lower body contours, just to not draw any extra attention if you're heavier through the bottom half. If, however, you're straight through the middle, what the extra width at the hem does is it makes the waistline appear neater than it is. At the top half, we've got a very lovely sleeve. You've heard me say this a million times, but it's worth saying it again. Inserted seams, those that sit on your shoulder line, will give you the best line irrespective of your shape. When we get into drop shoulders, it can be slightly trickier. So often making sure that you've got a seam that sits on your body is a really good one, particularly if you've got a larger bust and broader shoulders. Slightly longer sleeve, one of the questions we had was like things to sort of cover that part of the arm. So this dress is perfect in that regard. And then obviously again, if you've got broader shoulders, larger bust, we've got the flexibility to open up the neckline so that you can flex where it sits. Brilliant to create a little bit more space if you do have that larger bust. It obviously does have pockets. It's got pockets, and actually you possibly can't see the detailing, but at the bottom of the skirt there's also these very lovely tuck details, so it's not just a plain flat black. Now I'm just going to take the tie off, because much as the tie is absolutely fine, I quite often like to pop on a different belt, and I think in the summer you maybe want to kind of add a bit more lightness to your outfits, make it feel a bit less dark. Then just adding a raffia belt can be all that you need to do. Still makes it feel smart, but actually you could also therefore take this maybe a little bit more into holiday. You'd obviously put a different pair of shoes on, but again, tan is a very nice combo from an accessories perspective, just to bring things, give them a bit more light. It's classic. I like that. The tan black. It is a classic combo, but yeah, and I think sometimes having a contrast belt rather than the tie can be better for actually defining your waistline a little bit more.
Yeah, and if you want to, you don't have to belt it as well.
Absolutely
You can just snip the little belt loops off and just wear it looser if you prefer, like a looser.
Absolutely. As Hayley said, they've just got these tiny little crochet belt loops, so that doesn't really matter. So yes, for whom the thought of having things tight around there just isn't what you want, it's kind of like that. It's not a buffet dress because it's not tiered so much, but it does have that nice bit of gauging through here. It doesn't cling, it will camouflage the tummy perfectly, but it still creates a nice little bit of shape because of the seam detail you've got going on.
And a good one to sort of stretch the season out as well. I kind of feel like I actually launched that really quite early in the season, and people were wearing it with boots, and now obviously with kind of flip-flops and ballet flats, and I sort of feel like it will kind of stretch and it can layer underneath it as well.
Absolutely, it's definitely one of those ones. I love like a secret legging. When it's still a little bit too chilly, I'd be in my Uniqlo heat tech underneath. There would be layers, 100%, to make this last longer.
Keep going
into the autumn.
Right, I'll talk through what I'm wearing. So again, another summer in the city outfit, and this is our summer suiting, our kind of summer tailoring. But again, it's not so light you can only wear it through summer. I think it's another piece that will kind of, you can wear earlier or later in the season. It's a tencel linen cotton blend that has a good structure to it, so it still feels quite kind of smart and quite formal. So this is the Ava waistcoat, longer line waistcoat, and then it just does up with a little catch, so it has that sort of double-breasted feel, but without the buttons on the outside. It's kind of keeping it quite simple, long lined, and it is a long line waistcoat, but actually it works on lots of different heights as well. So as we said at the start, I'm 5'8". Obviously as you go down the size, it goes a little bit shorter. You've got these little jet pockets and then the sort of longer lapels, and then I'm wearing it with the Ida wide leg trousers. So we're quite low on stock on these, but we have got more coming in at the end of July. We'll probably put them on pre-order mid-July. A wide leg trousers, so obviously they are kind of slightly floor skimming. I'm just wearing them with flats, so you can obviously wear them with a heel if you want to. If you're taller, you've got a good couple of inches to take them down. If you're shorter, I would say worth tailoring them, because I kind of feel like with a tailored trouser, it's good to get the right height for you. So again, the same fabric.
Just to say, on this blazer, I have tried it on. It is beautiful. If you have time, I'll put it on for you. I personally, because I'm short, wouldn't put it with volume on the bottom half. When I do, in fact, I had it on with a skirt, it was just too much volume for my height. On Hayley, looks amazing. So when I put that on, for me, it's with a slimmer bottom half, a slimmer trouser, slimmer jean, just so that there isn't so much length and then width going on, and that feels proportionally better. And definitely tailoring trousers is something that is very part of my life. But when you have a wide leg trouser, you do want it to more or less touch the floor. Obviously yours are a teensy bit longer, but you don't want it half-mast, kind of swinging in,
Wafting around.
It's either cropped intentionally, kind of just above the ankle bone, or it's floor length. That kind of in between ground can often look a teensy bit odd.
Yeah, and it's worth it for the look.
But those are beautiful, beautiful, beautiful trousers. So Marnie is another absolute classic. What's really lovely about this one, obviously the pockets, as we talked about before, but it's got a slightly dipped hem, and I think that is just such a really, really beautiful detail. Kind of also makes it feel like a little bit more special. So while for me this feels like a very easy to wear, it's one of those mixed media dresses, and by that I mean it's got jersey top half with the cotton poplin bottom half. Now, the benefits obviously of the jersey is that it's super soft, comfortable, stretchy, flexible from a fit perspective. So you don't have to have a belt, absolutely, but then we can certainly do that if you want a slightly different look. I think what's also very lovely about this is the neckline. It's a bit more open, particularly for those of you who do have a larger bust. Often the things that are the worst, or the most difficult to pull off, are when you have a high crew neck, but sometimes it's just having those couple of little extra inches and centimetres of skin that can make all the difference. But I feel very Audrey Hepburn in this dress. I do feel very Breakfast at Tiffany's. It's just a really, really gorgeous one. And I think it's always quite difficult to find summer workwear pieces that feel right for the city, right for the office, and that don't feel too holiday, but equally aren't too trussed up or too hot. So for me, again, the whole natural fibres, the cotton skirt, the airiness, the fluidity is really, really helpful.
Yes, I love a bit of cotton poplin. I just think it gives you that crispness that you want for something smarter. So I appreciate we've done quite a lot of black outfits, but just in terms of kind of summer in the city, I think it's quite, it's obviously a really useful colour to stay smart and stay versatile. So I just wanted to give you one other option, which is actually co-ord. And I think that, again, when you're looking at summer workwear, it's really nice to be able to find things that you can also wear with your jeans at the weekend. So this is the Sophia puff sleeve blouse. As you can see, it's got puff sleeves with just the pin tuck detail, button through the front, and I've got it on with the Sabina skirt. So again, both of these in cotton poplin. The Sabina has the little pin tuck detailing at the bottom as well. A really easy elasticated waist, which again, I sort of feel like if you're sitting at a desk all day, it's quite nice to be comfy. You don't necessarily have to kind of forego comfort for a smarter look. So this is fully elasticated, a really lovely deep sheared waistband. And then I actually quite like wearing the top out, but if you want to create more of a waist, you can obviously tuck it, and it gives you that more sort of hourglass feel. My body shape is slightly straighter. I don't have a lot of curves, so I like the fact that this is giving me a bit of shape in the A-line skirt and also then in the sort of puff sleeve, and it feels very feminine.
One of the things that bring back anything to do with styling, a lot of what we're trying to do is create balance, and so Hayley saying that she's a bit straighter, actually she likes the volume to create a little bit more of a sense of curvature. That's often what we're doing in styling. We're trying to kind of create that sort of hourglass silhouette where there's balance and symmetry top and bottom with the definition of a waist, and you will use the detailing on your clothes to take away or add to an area. And so very often, like a puff sleeve, that gives you more structure to your shoulder line. A slightly wider hem does exactly the same thing. It gives you more width, which then in turn makes the waist appear neater. I don't really know how best to dress my shape. Don't worry too much about what shape are you, just think, how can I create balance and symmetry within my own individual proportions, be they vertical or from a shape perspective. So these are a beautiful, beautiful pair of trousers called Cassie. Cassie, I think, is one of my absolute favourites in the collection. So Cassie does come in other colours. She comes in this very lovely ecru.
She also comes in black navy, which I've got on. She comes in chocolate brown and then in a leopard print as well. Yeah.
So plenty of different options to choose from. Again, elasticated waistband, super comfortable, slightly wider hem, creates that neater illusion of a neater waist, flows beautifully over curves. Again, one of those ones that will work for straight or curvy alike is where I'm headed. And I've paired this with the lovely little cotton poplin blouse, got a collar, got the little puff sleeve again. Hayley might have worn hers out, whereas I most definitely would tuck mine in to create more of a waist, sort of also to tame the volume. If I wear mine out, let's do it. It's often quite useful to see the one way and see which you prefer. I feel a bit shapeless like this. I feel there's not a huge amount of definition within my shape, and that it feels an awful lot better as soon as I've done a tuck. And it doesn't need to ever be a Simon Cowell kind of tuck. We always want to kind of blues on out, just to also to make sure that we don't lose the body entirely and be only letting in a tiny bit of body. But again, a good one if you have a large bust, so you can kind of open the neckline to show it off. These for me are like, they do everything. They take you to work, we could go on holiday in them, you can pop a vest top on with them to tone them down, to make them feel a little bit less smart. We put them on with a flat sandal. That's your holiday sightseeing outfit, or whatever it might be. It's a t-shirt. It's just a very, very versatile core staple. And I think that's one of the things I love so much about Love and Loves. And hopefully you'll see through all the different outfits we're putting on, there is quite a lot of reusing of different pieces, tops in particular, to wear them in different ways. And for me, that's your goal in life, is to have a hard-working wardrobe that built up of 15,000 pieces that has some really, really strong foundations that can be worn in lots of different ways.
Absolutely. So yes, continuing with the co-ord theme and the things you can wear in lots of different ways. So I've got the Cassie on that Claire was wearing. So again, we always get questions about whether trousers will work on different heights. So just to remind you, Claire's 5'2", I'm 5'8", and I think they work on both of us. There's just some pieces that I think just work across lots of different heights. I'm wearing mine with the sage shell top, so also in the cotton poplin. This is cotton poplin. These are cotton sateen, but they're designed to work as mix and match co-ords. So we do these in multiple colours. We do olive, ecru, black, navy, sunset orange, chocolate brown. So we've got loads and loads of different colours. And the idea is that it gives you that kind of capsule that you can mix and match. So I also have the navy that goes perfectly. So if you want to do that sort of head to toe polished look in one single colour, I think that works really nicely, but you can absolutely mix and match them in. And it's just a really simple little shell top. It's just got the little details. So you've got a little bit of ruching on the shoulder, a little bit of ruching and gathering around the neckline. And again, you can wear them out, you can wear them tucked in. They're great with denim. So if you want to just have that little top that feels a little bit smarter than a t-shirt, just to wear with your jeans, I think they're a really good one for that. So yes, we have 29 different co-ords now.
Wow, what you just said about that is really important. I'm always asked about what jacket can I put on with something, and often it's not the jacket that's the issue, it's the top that's the problem. And so you need tops in your life that have got simple, easy to wear necklines like that can layer very easily under a blazer. So if you don't want a t-shirt, if you don't want a vest top, if you want something that feels a little bit smarter, it's the simplicity of either a crew or a V that will be the thing that will work under a jacket. As soon as you start putting shirt collars, as soon as you start putting pin tucks and flounces and frills and all of that sort of stuff, all of a sudden your jacket will no longer work, but it's the top that's the issue. Yeah. So if you want good, easy to wear basics. I have got on the skirt you've seen on Hayley, and this time I've just popped it on with a vest top. It does obviously have the shell top, as you've seen, that we can do a slightly smarter co-ord look with, mix and match in a whole host of different ways, but just to give you a slightly more dressed down variation. It's not exactly the same skirt, but there's also a very nice print that it comes in if you want a little bit more interest within your outfit. This, for me, it's a beautiful, beautiful colour. Do you have some clients who are like, I can't wear brown and black together? Absolutely you can wear brown and black together. I think it's a really lovely, much softer alternative to wearing all black. I also have quite a lot of clients who will say to me, oh, but I'm an autumn or a spring, so I can't wear black. And actually, it's really about what's near your face. So having a black bottom, if it's not your ideal colour, isn't the end of the world at all. Just make sure you pop it on with a top that is your colour, that you feel happy in. And then that way you can make your kind of the bottoms work irrespective. Very lovely skirt, as Hayley said. It's super flexible in terms of fit and comfort, and little dipped hem, pockets, Very, very easy for work, for weekend, for holiday.
So just the dress version of the print that Claire showed you in the sappy skirt earlier. I love a dress that you can wear to work, but it will also double up for your summer holiday as well. So this is the Aria dress. Again, it's in 100% cotton, so really lovely and cool and breathable. It's more of an empire line. So to those of you who, again, don't want anything too close across the tummy or across the hip, it's a really lovely sort of wafty one. And I would wear this with a blazer that Claire's going to show you in a second, the Josephine blazer in stone, just because I think the colours go so nicely together. If I was going to wear this to the office, I would just pop the blazer on over the top, because then I feel like you don't have the statement sleeve. I think works really nicely if you're going out for dinner on holiday, but you maybe don't want that kind of statement in the office. And then you've just got a really lovely sort of simple printed dress with a nice clean V. I think the blazer will kind of cover up the statement sleeve. But then if you want more of a sort of summer dress for holidays, then I think it works really nicely as well. And then obviously just switch up your footwear. So holiday works really well with flip-flop. In the office, I might go for something like a heeled sandal. So I think finding those pieces that can work really hard from the office to your holiday, again, is really important. And finding those pieces that can kind of transform slightly under a blazer. So you've got the kind of simple neckline when it's under the blazer, but then feels a bit more wow when it's worn on its own. And it's got pockets as well. I try and put pockets in absolutely everything, unless just for whatever reason the fabric doesn't work. I think we've only got like one thing without a pocket.
And here is the very beautiful blazer. So Hayley obviously saying that she would wear it with her voluminous dress. You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say I would feel too swamped if I put it on with my voluminous dress. So what I would do is I would want to put it with something that was neater, slimmer on the bottom half. So in this case, I've popped on Emmy barrel leg jeans, which if you follow me for a while, you will know that barrel legs are not hugely my cup of tea, and that I really struggle with the volume. These, on the other hand, are an absolute dream, probably because they're much less extreme. They're basically just a very lovely tapered leg jean, which is ideal. And beautiful wash, really easy colour to wear kind of year round, just a simple vest top underneath. As I said before, it's about the simplicity of the neckline underneath the blazer that is super duper helpful. So many offices now do not require smarter outfits. Obviously we've shown you a number of kind of more traditional, smarter pieces that can still feel modern tailoring. But for so many of you, it can be jeans, but it's just about the sharpness and kind of the polish that a blazer offers. I think having a light coloured blazer in your wardrobe is worth its weight in gold, because it will just sharpen up a simple pair of jeans. This one is obviously a longer leg, the bottom covering on me, and that's what makes it feel modern. But also it's beautifully cut so that you are wearing it done up. It creates that gorgeous shaping. You had this lace, didn't you, of black, which is so beautiful. It's kind of like the most gorgeous kind of piece on, and this does the same job for kind of this season. Super duper appropriate. What I would say is, when you're wearing a light thing on your top half, don't then necessarily hop on, oh thank you, a really dark shoe on the bottom half, because now I think you can see that the colour balance feels off. For me, this feels like it's a nice harmonious thing, and it's what's called a colour sandwich. So we're creating the sandwich where this colour is similar, doesn't need to be exact, tones to what's going on the top half, whereas this feels a little bit, what's it talking back to on my outfit? Absolutely nothing. Now there's definitely things you could do. So you could put a belt on, for example, that was a darker belt. We might have, maybe we swap in a darker vest top, and then everything feels a little bit more cohesive. A bag can work too, but obviously you're not always wearing the bag. So I think thinking about outfit formulas that simplify, quite often the colour sandwich is a really nice one to have in mind.
Right, so I just wanted to offer another alternative, so another kind of neutral outfit that I think will work for summer workwear, but also beyond as well. So if you've joined the lives that Claire and I have done together before, you will have seen these. These are the Cape Cargos, and we do these in lots of different colours. They're a lyocell cotton blend, so a really easy blend that doesn't crease. So they're a good holiday trouser as well. And I think when you're at work, you need a trouser that you're not going to sort of be kind of creased and crumpled by the end of the day. It's a really hard working, part elasticated, so you've got an elasticated back and then a flat front. Let me show you. So you kind kind of kept that sort of smarter, cleaner feel on the front. If you just want that kind of classic cargo, they're less of a statement cargo, and I would say more of kind of classic shape that seems to work for everybody. These are a really good option. And then I always roll the hem, but you can obviously wear them full length. But again, because you can roll them and they're designed to be rolled, I think they work for lots of different heights as well. And then I feel like this is a really good alternative to a classic white shirt. So it's kind of got that white shirt feel about it, but it has a texture and it has a fluidity that feels quite nice in warmer weather as well. So if I get a little bit closer, you can kind of see it's kind of got this slightly jacquard texture to it. It's more of a statement piece, so you've got the exaggerated dip hem, more oversized. You can obviously tuck it in, but I tend to wear mine out, and I think it works on me because the sleeves are slightly shorter, so they're sort of, I'm not feeling like it's overwhelming me, but I just kind of feel like it's a really nice alternative to a classic white shirt.
And actually, for many people, the whole cotton shirt doesn't work super well because it's too stiff, and if you're curvy, having a cotton material on your top half can often not be quite what you want because it works against your body's inherent contours. So having a fabric that's soft and drapey and fluid and will go round your contours is often much more helpful than something that sits. Another little alternative jacket for the summer. So this is a very sweet elbow length short sleeve collared blazer. Little jacket, as you can see. Again, just a nice additional piece to layer over the top for those chillier mornings when you want to smarten things up. I haven't had time to change my jeans, but with a different trouser, absolutely fine, slim leg. If you're taller for sure, then 100% go for a wider legged option too. Again, I would probably stick to something that was a bit slimmer on the bottom half with this jacket, just because it's not that kind of crop leg, in which case I would be doing wide legs no problem. But because it's a slightly longer one, I would probably be sticking to slimmer silhouette. But it feels like a very, very easy one that you can just chuck on. Not as formal as a blazer, but still gives you that bit of structure, that bit of polish. But I think this is actually quite a helpful point because it probably demonstrates that actually in this instance either can work, because we've got the lighter top underneath, so that talks back to the darker one. I mean, I possibly wouldn't wear this exact shoe, but a darker shoe can also work well because we've got the darker jacket over the top. A final look with the Cassie cropped trousers, and I just wanted to show you with our cashmere blend knitwear. So this is called the Nelly Tank. It's a wool cashmere blend, so it's 90% wool, 10% cashmere, so you've got the softness of cashmere. And the reason I think these work year round is because with the kind of yarn composition, I feel like that gives you that kind of breathability. You've still got that natural yarn, not at all itchy. I'm really sensitive to itchiness. I have lots of customers who are sensitive to any kind of itchiness, and I would say pretty much all of our customers have found that they can wear this just directly next to their skin. But I think it's a really good year-round piece, so I am just wearing it obviously as it is, as a little tank with the Cassie crop trousers that I will wear right the way through the year, but then also a really great layering piece in the cooler months. So I would just pop this on over a nice kind of crisp cotton shirt or a long sleeve top. So I think it's quite nice to have those sort of year-round options. And again, this is the Cassie in moss. So this is probably our best-selling colour actually.